And good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with your sensei, this guy here, your griot, to tell you a story. So here we are um, in October, mid October. And what was that October surprise we're looking for? Well, it's all about interior design, right? We're having a makeover, right? And it's going to be interesting to see what happens. What do you think, right? Well, remember, look for those, subscribe, give us, we like those likes that we like, they're like the little computer mind says, oh, look at that. So, come on, let's have some likes. And subscribe and tell others. And if you're not going to make a comment while watching, do give a comment after the show because it gives me an ability to see what you're thinking about. And that's what this show is about. It's not just me giving a monologue, which, I kind of do, but I much prefer a dialogue, right? So I just had my lunch and drinking a nice cup of coffee. And, winter up here is, inconvenient and often uncomfortable, but it allows one to basically acclimate to what could happen. Let's say a big CMG hits and fries every semiconductor on the planet. Well, that would mean nothing would work. No electricity, no pumped water, no septic, no supermarket, no, supply chain, no anything, right? But things would be quieter, right? And life would be interesting, right? And all of this doesn't have to happen, right? The powers that shouldn't be, the hidden hand, Hail Hydra, whatever you want to call it, is this very, very, very small group of folk, right? And they use high magic. And what is magic? Magic is one man's religion, another man's technology, right? The Holy Roman Empire. That was, came from a supernatural book. If you read it as if it's basically actually happened, it's a supernatural book, right? If you read it as a metaphor, then it is a shamanic book, more a mathematical equation than anything else, right? Back in the day of the Hebrew, and back in every language, every letter of every alphabet has a corresponding number. A, 1, B, 2, and you get the C, 3, 4, D, get the idea. So you can look at a word and its syntax and where it lies in a sentence, in a paragraph, and you can divine a code, right? Now, it depends on what perspective you take it from. Myself, I'm a shamanic, psychosocial, cultural, forensic, anthropologic alchemist, right? What is alchemy? Making, rare things from common crass elements, right? And we humans are the most common crass element, meaning our body, right? We're just a bag of water. That's really what we are, with some trace elements, and not even the big important ones. But that's only on a macro level, right? And but if you go into the micro level or the giga level, meaning super small or super big, we're something else, right? And what is that? Who knows, right? You don't, I don't, and we can know, and we can only know if we are in constant state of mind of conscious intent. I am. Right? When Moses, who was a priest of a cult, a druidic cult of moon worshippers, right? So you can take all the ancient religions apart by the stars, and people go, "Oh, that astrology is devil worship." No, not really. It's gave the birth to astronomy, the science of understanding the trajectories, the movement of the planets and the stars. And when you realize that it's a pattern that, again, it's a macro, micro, and giga level of looking at these patterns. And when you do, you can kind of figure out what's going on. Now, can you believe it? No, never believe squat. Like, don't believe a word I say. This is just for entertainment's sake, right? And here we are, 5 minutes and 55 seconds into the show. And let me remind you, smash that like button. We love it. Yeah, just, get that like button going and, go from there, right? And that's what I'm talking about, right? And subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. And also, make a comment, right? So, okay, it's now about 1 o'clock, and in my neighborhood, Democracy Now! Is on the radio, but you can go look at Democracy Now! On YouTube, right? And Amy does a really good show. She's got a nice crew. Juan is great, and the other few people who come in and guest host are also great. She has really good guests that really are usually on the ground watching what's going on. So, and everyone has a bent, meaning a perspective, a place where they come from within their construct of what are they trying to tell you, right? It's called prejudice or ideology or belief, right? Or empathetic connection. And that's more Amy. Amy's empathetic. There are all these people dying in Palestine. And, she's sympathetic to it because there's the bully, the U.S. and Israel, and the little guy, right? The underdog. And that's Palestinian people. Are they right? There is no right and wrong in a situation, right? There's only learning, and everyone is going through what is known as tough love, right? And in the Bible, Israel, that was the Hebrew nation of the tribes, had a special relationship with God, right? Elohim, right? And basically, Elohim isn't like the unnameable God. No, it's like one of the gods, the top god. The El means God, and Elohim means a group of, right? So basically, the Ten Commandments, which the first person to break the Ten Commandments was Moses when he threw them down at the Hebrews who were building a golden calf to worship, He just left a little bit to go talk to God on a mountain. He comes back and, they're not following the Hebrew traditions, that's for sure. And that's because they basically let their ego get the better part of them, right? Also, one of those 10 commandments is don't covet your neighbor's stuff or your neighbor's wife. And that's where they went straight to it, right? So anyway, here we are at 8 minutes and 8 seconds of the show. Welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with your Sensie Owl Bob. That's me, your griot, here to tell you a story. And I'm just roughing out the subject here. And that, it's getting towards Christmas, getting towards the holidays. What do most people do for the holidays? They redecorate, you got spring cleaning and you got fall cleaning getting towards Christmas and the New Year, right? And so you kind of maybe you want to put in a new bathroom or do some interior decorating or whatever. So that's what our planet is going through. We're going through some earth changes, and some which motivate the human body. And when I say body, I mean all of humanity, not just your body, the body, the politique, right? The body consciousness. Now, all those things are an illusion, right? They don't mean squat, because the only truth you can have is that truth of God's unconditional agape love, unconditional love, right? And that's where you have to be in that relationship. That is the covenant, and the ark of the covenant. You're the ark. We are the ark. All our relations, we're the ark. It's the we in me, not the me, right? And good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland. Come on, let's see some thumbs up. We like that. When you smash that the like button, we love that. Come on. It makes me excited. Come on. And so also subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, right? Let's get some more subscriptions. And come on, this show needs comments. This is the juice of the show, the comments. And okay, we're going to give it another 10 minutes, 20 after. Let's see, another 10 minutes will be a 20-minute long show, give or take. So I've had breakfast. I've had lunch. I'm drinking my coffee. And then I'm going to go to see how the community center is doing, right? And it was thrust upon us, right? And it'll be, let's see what we do with it, right? Okay. I'm just going to set you right here so you can see a couple of blades right there. That's it. I'm going to finish my lunch. Was that exciting? Whoop. Oh, there's one. I got UAI. Can you hear me now? Nobody, they left. All messages are visible. Okay. There's nobody here. Nobody stayed. I'll give you a rough outline of what I want to talk about. I'll go on a little more in depth. So here we are. We're having an election, right? We have a war in the Ukraine, between Russia and the Ukraine, and it's also between Russia and NATO. It's also between Russia and the United States. But in reality, it's a scripted adventure story that will be one of the building blocks of the new era, right? The new storyline, right? One of these things that, oh, look what happened. Moses breaking the Hebrews out of, slavery from the Egyptians, which was caused by the Jews themselves because they dissed the Egyptians for at least 700 years. When they were small and little and unpowerful, the Jews took advantage, not Jews, the Hebrew nation, feeling superior because of their relationship with God. God's always got our back. We're paranormally protected. And the United States feels the same thing. Oh, we're a Christian nation. We're the good guys. We wear the white hat, blah, blah, blah. And Donald Trump, when he was being interviewed by whoever, Mr. 60 Minutes, and they asked, do you think Putin's, this was like 2 years ago when Russia went into Ukraine. And, he first said, that was a brilliant move. He had to do that. And, I could stop this war. If I was president, the war would have never happened. Anyway, so, they get to the point, Putin, what's his name? I said, no, he's a killer. But so are we. And the guy in 60 Minutes, what? He said, oh, yeah, America's killer. Look at all the people we killed, all the wars we've had, all the assassinations, all the stuff, CIA. We're not good guys. We're killers. But we're number one. And we need to stay number one. And make me president, I'll make it number one again. Right? And he's more a nationalist. And he has no idea what to crack. I mean, he's a puppet beyond puppet, right? And, he had a TV show called The Apprentice, and that's what he was. He was being apprenticed to be the president, right? He was learning the chops. And he was already had, Darth Vader had the Emperor, right? A Sith Lord. And Donald Trump had his Sith Lord, Roy Cohn, right? There's a movie about Roy Cohn right now you should go see. That's very interesting. And I growing up in New York and I building, not really building, but lighting restaurants and discotheques. I was never a contractor of such, like building stuff. I was later on out in Long Island. I built lots of houses and businesses, things the size of Wendy's, And so I did, I was a contractor, but I did it right around 1980, in the 1980s when things were falling apart, when the savings and loan happened, it, culminated in 1986 collapse of the economy, which destroyed about 36,000 banks, all the savings and loans went belly up because of it. And then, Chase Manhattan and Citicorp and a few other things became giant banks. And then in 2008, it went to like 3 banking entities. And with the digital currency, that is going to be another building block of this new society. We'll just have one entity, right? And you're not going to be holding any, Bitcoin or any of that stuff. You'll have a digital account and you'll have a digital ID, and your digital ID will be your face, period. That's it. No tattoos, no, barcode on your forehead, none of those things. Just your face, you can't get rid of your face. And that's it. And if you sign up, you will have a modicum of convenience and comfort, right? But you'll be owned. You'll be a product. You'll be a commodity, which you already are. A good example is how Russia has commoditized this war. I mean, he's putting, all those young folk into the meat grinder of this war, right? And that is to desensitize the general public to the fact that that's all you are, is a meat puppet, right? Now, you either join or you're a non-person, and then you will, if you get stopped and you're not part of the club, they will assimilate you immediately. They'll have a little, something. You remember when George Lucas made this first big movie when he was still in school, THX 111, whatever, with what's his name? And that was a school project. That was an amazing movie, right? And there were robots. The guys were 7 feet tall and black and had the highway patrol helmet and a mirrored visor, right? So you couldn't see anything of their face because they didn't have a face. They were robots, right? But the little kids held the hands and it was like a big teddy bear. But if you did something wrong, they had this big stick, they could hit you with it or hit you, and you'd be incinerated, right? be turned into a commodity that could be used manufacturing-wise. So that's just around the corner, right? All the technology, everything is already embedded in place and ready to go. And no one's even got a clue on this, but that's what it's going to be, And that's why, George was given the latitude to make all the films, because he, like Steven Spielberg, became his buddy and went through the same thing, constantly give these metaphors out. That's like our version of the Bible. They have these movies that get into our consciousness, our collective consciousness, and create a gestalt, a lightning understanding. But they can manufacture and manipulate that lightning understanding. Oh, God, talk to me, lightning understanding. No, that was like, a tampon commercial. So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland. And no one's here yet. So I'm just kind of setting up the story that I want to talk to you guys about. I want to hear your opinions on what I'm talking about. That's a live chat, right? And if you watch this hours from now, you can leave a comment. I want to have some comments, like those likes, subscribe, comments, come back to the show. I'll probably do a show, somewhere between 2:30 and 3 o'clock. Okay. So what else can I put in there? So we're ready for a redesign of what we think is normal, right? And myself, I'm ready. I'm always here to serve God, right? I have no idea what it is I'm supposed to do, but things get put in front of my plate. And my whole career, my whole life, like yesterday, I was talking to a lady. I went to the community center, and it's running like clockwork. They don't really need me to do the little things I do, but, I come, I visit. There are people who carry, they have some nice stuff. So, get 10 packets of underwear. Okay, I understand that, meaning I buy my socks instead of washing them. I kind of buy them. And anyway, so the bottom line is when you see people taking out big, nice coats and they take out 12 of them, it's like, no. So I can be there, keeping an eye on that kind of thing, and go there and not say, you're stealing, get out. And I said, no. Here, let's try these on. Let's see which one fits right, okay? Oh, this is perfect for you. We'll just leave these for the other people. You want one more? Take one more, right? But that's it. You can't take 12, right? 2, not a problem. I understand. You don't have a washer dryer. Things start to smell. You don't know how to clean it. Me, I hang stuff on a tree. I spray it with some Lysol, let it rain on it a few times, let the sun hit it a lot. And then I do have a big dryer in the woods, and I throw it in the big dryer. Anyway, but that's how I rule. Like me, right now, my friend's house got a great hot shower. So I got to take a shower once, twice a day because it's so nice. When I go back to Deep Green, I won't have another shower for 6-8 months. I don't smell. That's what I eat. It doesn't come out as toxins in my skin. Your biggest elimination, your biggest organ in your body is your skin, right? And it eliminates. It takes in nutrients and eliminates waste, right? More than your breath is the number one eliminator of waste, right? More than your feces, more than your urine, more than your sweat is number 2. The other 2's, take the excess liquids and solids and eliminate them. But the toxins, so I don't smell because I don't live a toxic life, right? That's mainly it. And your body smell also not just comes from the stuff you're environmentally surrounded by or the stuff you're eating. It's the auric energetic waste of your emotions. So if you're always worrying, always hating, always coveting, you're going to smell like shit. So people have really bad BO. That's kind of it. They're stuck in that auric life pretty much. And so start smelling that way. I mean, you can smell it yourself. Even though you get used to it, you know what you smell like. And it's like bringing up, um, why does John take why does he use 15 boxes of toilet paper a week, like 7,000 rolls a year? He has to clean his septic lines out like 15 times a year, Why? Because he's got so much shit stuck in him from his consciousness, right? He is always thinking about himself, praise God, praise Jesus, praise God, praise Jesus, praise God. He's so scared of dying and going to the lake of fire, And the lake of fire, meaning I died 7 times. And I've seen that life. I put my toe into it, and it's, it is what it is. And it's another, experience. And if you can learn from that, and it purifies, what does fire do? It burns away all of the impurities, right? Leaving the constitution of the purity of your spirit. So that's all what we're doing here. Our whole physical life. It's not a, there is no beginning, middle, and end. There's no finish line. There is no, woo, I won, none of the above, right? The best you can do is live in the moment and experience everything in love's co-creation, right? So, okay, that's a kind of loose Django, that thing where you pull out the little cubes experience of what's going on. So, there's one person. I just jumped in. Oh, one like. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Any comments? I'll stick around more if you bring up a interesting thing for me too. So did you get any of the stuff I've said so far about we're in our reconstruction stage, but not reconstruction, more like when you do house renovations, rejiggering what the kitchen looks like and putting in a nice bathroom or whatever. So can you talk about that? Because, all of the storms we have, Florida really, North Carolina got whacked, right? And it got whacked in a really, really, really specific way. Certain places, like on one side of the street, obliterated, road gone, a firehouse gone, buildings gone. Other side, well, perfectly fine. It's like not even a tree fell down, right? In a few places, nothing really bad happened. Like Asheville's a good example. Certain parts of Asheville, it's like nothing happened. Certain black, mountain, nothing happened. Certain places, you go into Swannanoa, you go into the River Arts District, and so it's an interesting thing. It's a metaphor, and if you take it apart, deconstruct it, that's why I'm a shamanic, psychosocial, cultural, forensic anthropologist, alchemist, right? So I'm looking for the to change alchemically those things that are truly what we are in love's co-creation, and eliminate the toxicity and the trash of our materialistic life, right? Anyway, there's that one person still hanging in there. You don't want to say anything? Let's see, what else can I talk about within this context? So, shaman, a shaman is not a priest, right? It's an individual who is seeing, not being woke in a political sense. Back in the day, we used to call it politically correct. There is no politically correct, right? Because politics is just an opinion, right? It's not, and religions are just opinions, right? They're beliefs, right? That's all, a belief is just an opinion. There is no real validity there. There's no substance in a belief, right? But you could be disappointed in whatever you believe. And I mean, there's all these people who are staunch, who are the people who wear the golden underpants, real Catholics, real Jews, real Muslims, real Buddhists, right? And they kill for that, right? And then someday, this sucks, and they become something else, right? So me, I'm a shaman, right? Shamanism, right? What is that? It's a belief, but it's more than a belief and less than a belief, right? it is a structure. And, religions are all structures. They like stick you in a book, and that gives you a level of comfort, because if you start looking at the world around you, why all these people you love die in car crashes and of cancer and all this, and terrible things happen to great people, and really scumbags, become president, it's pretty much every leader is a scumbag. That's the one telltale thing, because to get there, that's why I've never been, a surgeon. I would say I come from a long line of barber surgeons and herbalists. My grandfather, my grandmother, my mother's mother also, and my mother's father's mother, my great grandmother on my mother's father's side was a crone. So anyway, I got a lot of that in me, and I'm a itinerant scholar. I move around and observe a great deal, and I was very blessed at an early life to get paid to do that, get paid to go to school, right? You can't beat that, right? I never matriculated. I was a fellow, right? I was a research fellow, right? And every time I needed scholastic acumen, like a degree, they just gave it to me, which showed the level of how valuable it's just a toilet paper, like I said, I have more degrees than a thermometer, and people hate it when I say that. They get very intimidated, and a lot of people, me just talking can intimidate them, and it's not my fault. I'm just put here to do this. I'm just a cheeky monkey. But I try to be as loving as possible and as kind as possible. I mean, I don't have a mean bone in my body. I really don't. And I've had really great teachers that have shown me the difference, right? Altruism and empathy versus sympathy and fear, right? And hubris, right? Don't have, ego is not a great thing to do. It's not a really good tool, right? It'll get you in the end. It always does. Jojo, right? President Jojo. Look at him. He's a sad piece of work. He has always been a sad piece of work. And now, you cannot help. Meaning, I'm a writer too. I'm agree. I tell stories, so I write them down. I got 18 novels in the work. I have about 8 semi-finished, and the other 10 are in some fashion there. Anyway, don't believe anything I say or what I write. Just let it sink in and see how it affects you, right? How it makes you think, how it makes you, not be woke, but consciously aware, right? Consciously aware. And that means you have to be in contact, connected with love's co-creation. That is the covenant, right? And you are the ark, right? The carrying vehicle. So that's shamanism right there. That's it in a T, but it's a window that you look through, right? And on the other side, you interpret what you see with psychosocial, cultural, forensic anthropology, right? To understand someone's psyche, that's meaning their view of the world and how they represent. You have to understand their social connection, their job, where they live, what their family, what their sexual predilections are, all their choices in their life. That's social, right? And so, number 3 is culture. Where grandma came, what holidays, what foods you eat, that kind of stuff. Culture, how you interact with that psychological view through your culture, right? And then you forensically take it all apart into the threads, and you weave together a tapestry of what you see through that imaginary window of shamanism, right? And then anthropologically was one of those ologies. See, all those ologies, psychology, sociology, theology, which is kind of culture, And anthropology was the quote unquote unprejudiced science to interpret all that stuff together, right? Well, it's a great idea, but it's real hidden agendas to prove that white men are superior to everybody else. But if you use the dynamics of sociology along with psychology, sociology, theology, and why I use the word culture, cultural and forensic anthropology, is because it says you need to use all those ologies, right? Then it kind of works. Separately, none of it's just another form of shit, So anyway, here it is. Let's say somewhere around 1:30, and I'm gonna say goodbye because I really haven't had any kind of questions. There's one person back. Hey, if you're the same guy who, no, they left. I'll be back around 3:30. Okay.